Hello. This is Radio Lewes, where the music matters, and you're listening to Vapour Trails.
So hard living with the things you do to me. Oh, my things are getting so strange. I'd like to tell you everything I see.
Oh, I see a man at the back. As a matter of fact, his eyes are as red as the sun. And the girl in the corner, let no one ignore her, 'cause she thinks she's the passionate one.
Oh, yeah, it's like lightning. Everybody was frightening, and the music was soothing, and they all started grooving. And the man at the back said, everyone attack, and it turned into a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, fire on the one, it'll turn into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz. Reaching out for something, touching nothing's all I ever do. Oh, I softly call you over, when you feel there's nothing left for you.
And the man at the back is ready to crack as he raises his hands to the sky. And the girl in the corner is everyone's corner. She could kill you with a wink of her eye.
Oh, yeah, it was electric, so frantically hectic, and the band started leaving, 'cause they all stopped breathing. And the man at the back said, everyone attack, and it turned into a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, fire on the one, it'll turn into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. Oh, yeah, it was like lightning. Everybody was frightening, and the music was soothing, and they all started grooving. And the man at the back said, everyone attack, and it turned into a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, fire on the one, it'll turn into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz, ballroom blitz. It's ballroom blitz. It's ballroom blitz. It's ballroom blitz. Yeah, it's a ballroom blitz.
So starting us off was The Sweet with Ballroom Blitz from 1973. And today's show is actually a bit of a special one. It's kind of subtitled Cover Plus. So what we're looking at are songs that were covered by punk bands. And Ballroom Blitz was covered by The Damned and The Rosillos. And yes, lots of people have been in touch about playing particular songs. So we're going to start off with a song that The Clash covered on London Calling. They called it Wrong Way Boyo, or Wrong and Boyo. This is the original from a ska band called The Rulers, and they pronounce it Wrong M Boyo. And this is my mate Paul up in Edinburgh.
Stackley and Billy, two men who gambled. Stackley drove 7, Billy swore that he drove 8. Brakes! Wrong in boy, you start all over again, huh? Why do you try to cheat in such a small, small game? Don't you know it was wrong to cheat the trying man? Don't you know it was wrong to cheat the trying man? Don't you know it was wrong to cheat the trying man? Don't you know it was wrong to cheat the trying man? Someday you're gonna fall. Someday you're gonna fall. Why do you lie, steal, cheat and deceit, and try to trample people under your feet? You better stop. It is a wrong emboyant. Cheat and deceit, and try to trample people under your feet. You better stop. It is a wrong emboyant. So we'll start again, all over again. And you better play it fair this time. Just got to play it fair this time, and we will have a right emboyant.
The Rulers there from 1967. And staying in 1967, the next track was covered by the Slits. And it's probably their most famous track, aside Typical Girls, which is played on BBC Six Music. Yes, there are other channels out there, apparently. But they play this one almost constantly. But anyway, this is the original, and it's actually Gladys Knight and the Pips. A lot of people think it's Marvin Gaye, but no, it was Gladys Knight and the Pips. And this is I Heard It Through the Grapevine.
It took me by surprise, I must say.
And sticking with the Slits, we've got a request from the missus, one for Alison, as we do in every show. And she would like to hear the Paragons, who are a Jamaican band featuring John Holt. They had a song in 1968 called I've Got to Get Away, which the Slits actually covered and renamed it as Man Next Door, which is what the track has actually now become known as. The Paragons from 1968.
There's a man that lives next door in my neighborhood, in my neighborhood. He gets me down, he gets in so late at night, always a fuss and fight, always a fuss and fight, all through the night. And they fall, bang against the wall, bang against the wall, no rest at all. I've got to get away from here. This is not a place for me to stay. I've got to take my family and find a quiet place. Hear the buds and pens they fall, bang against the wall, bang against the wall, no rest at all. I've got to get away now, I've got to get away.
Another one that caught me out there by finishing too quickly. The Paragons with I've Got to Get Away, now known as the Man Next Door. And like I said, I was having a conversation with people, as usual, in the pub or on Facebook. And if you want to get in touch, there is a Facebook site that you can get in touch with. Is www.facebook.com/Steve Radio Lewis. And the next track was suggested by Kevin McVie, and it's the Doors' Soul Kitchen, which was covered by the American kind of early punk band X.
Well, the clock says it's time to close now. I guess I better go now. I really like to stay here all night. The cars crawl past all stuffed with eyes. Lights share their hollow glow. Your brain seems bruised with numb surprise. Still one place to go. Still one place to go. Let me sleep all night in your soul kitchen. Warm my mind with your gentle stone. Turn me out in a wonder, baby. Stumbling in the neon. Speaking secret alphabet, I light another cigarette. Learn to forget. Learn to forget. Learn to forget. Learn to forget. sleep all night in your soul kitchen. Warm my mind in your gentle snow. Turn me out in a wonder, baby. Stolen in the neon road. Well, the clock says it's time to close now. I know I have to go now. I really wanna stay here all night. All night. All night.
From 1967, The Doors and Soul Kitchen. And like I say, this show's been basically lots of people just sending me ideas, and one in particular, Phil Dyson, hello Phil, put me onto a site called Secondhand Songs. Now this is very interesting because you go in there and you can kind of just look up your favourite band, say for instance The Clash, and it will tell you how many originals they did, how many covers they did, where the covers came from, and all different links and things like that. Although I would say you do have to double check it because they put Neat 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 as an Elvis Costello original and obviously got that wrong. So after burning down my computer in a huff, I went back to it later. But from there, and one of Phil's suggestions was a song that The Clash covered called Look Here, and it's on the Sandinista album, or triple album. And this is a nice bit of jazz for you. This is Mose Allison and Look Here from 1964.
Look here, what you think you're gonna be doing next year? No lie, how you know you're not going up and die? No doubt, soon enough your friends will find you out. Take care, you know you might not have much time to spare. Say, how long have you acted up this way? Well, no, when you gonna get your own flow show? I'm hip, you could use a button on your lip. Look here, what you think you're gonna be doing next year?
Oh, that was lovely, wasn't it? That was Mose Allison and Look Here from 1964. Also going to dedicate that to a friend of mine called Woz, who for many years has been trying to convince me to listen to Blue Note albums, and I'm getting there, Woz, slowly but surely. I reckon by the time I get about 80, I may have listened to a couple. So moving along now, I found a fantastic album last week, which I've had my eye on for a little while, and it's called Love That Louie Louie, and it's literally the story of the song Louie Louie, and it's got something like 13 or 14 different versions. It's also got songs that influenced the original song and a number of other notes. Now, the original of Louie Louie was written by a guy called Richard Berry, and I'm not actually going to play his version because what I'm going to do is play two tracks together back to back here, and I'm going to play his version of another song that he wrote, and it's kind of strange because he's literally written the backbone to garage rock. So what we're going to do with Louie Louie is play the Kingsman version that everybody knows, and this was covered by the Flaming Groovies and Black Flag, to name but two, but I think almost every band has played it at some point. There was an offshoot band of the Stranglers called the Purple Helmets, and it's on their album as well. And then we're going to follow it up with the Richard Berry and the Pharaohs from 1959 and Have Love Will Travel, which, of course, was made famous by the Sonics. Stiv Bators of the Dead Boys has done a solo version of it as well. And again, it's another one of those kind of standard garage punk rock songs. So here we go. There's a few minutes of Richard Berry to enjoy.
Got your ship across the sea.
girl to satisfy me to have love. Well, baby, now we'll travel. Say I have love. Yeah, yeah, we'll travel. And baby, if you need a loving man, we'll travel. Say I'm traveling light, not heavy, baby. So look for me to come past your way. I got arms full of loving for waiting just for you. I even got a suitcase full of kisses to have love. Well, baby, now we'll travel. Say I have love. We'll travel. And baby, if you need a loving man, we'll travel. Say I might come by boat, I might come by plane. Baby, I might even catch the train. But if I can't get there that way, then look for me to walk any old day and have love. Well, we'll travel. Say I have love. We'll travel. And baby, if you need a loving man, we'll travel. Say I will travel. Oh, I will travel. I will travel.
Richard Berry and the Pharaohs from 1959 with the original of Have Love Will Travel. And just going back to the Kingsmen and their version of Louie Louie. Now, that version was investigated by the FBI and because J. Edgar Hoover got a real bee in his bonnet about the lyrics and the lyrical content and basically wasn't too sure what they were singing about. And apparently the story is that Jack Ely, the singer, rehearsed the song the day before recording so much that he shot his voice completely. So therefore, when they came to actually record it, that's why some of the words are slurred, where you can't quite make them out. And also there's a tiny bit in there where he comes in at the wrong time. But there you go. And also, interestingly, he heard the Richard Berry version on a jukebox and basically wrote out what he thought were the lyrics as well, so that could be another reason. But also he got the rhythm wrong. And that's just fantastic because he's basically, his version of Louie Louie is the blueprint that everyone else has followed since. So that's just fantastic. Moving on, the next song is from 1968, and this is a bit of soul for Bob and Joyce up in Fife. And this is Eddie Floyd and Big Bird.
So send
Eddie Floyd with Big Bird from 1968, and that was covered by The Jam. It was a bit of a live set special, that one. I don't think it's on the Dig the New Breed album of a compilation of live tracks, but I'm pretty sure they didn't actually put it down as a kind of studio mix. This is Radio Lewis, where the music matters, and you're listening to me, Steve Brooks, with Vapour Trails. And next up is another request, and this is for Chris Roskilly, who's the stand-up bass player in the Hillmans, a great kind of psychobilly band based in Brighton. And he's asked for I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, which was covered by the Sex Pistols, of course. Now, again, this is an interesting one because I assumed that the Monkees did the original, but no, it was actually Paul Revere and the Raiders, and they actually recorded the original in 1966, and in 1967 the Monkees did their version, and obviously that became the much more famous one. But this is Paul Revere and the Raiders.
I'm not your stepping stone. No, I'm not your stepping stone. You're trying to make your mark in society, using all the tricks that you used on me. You're reading all them high fashion magazines, the clothes you wearing lately causing public scenes. I said, I'm not your stepping stone. No, no, I'm not your stepping stone. Oh, not your stepping stone. No stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. Stepping stone. No. I'm not your stepping stone. No, I'm not your stepping stone. When I first met you, girl, you didn't have no shoes, but now you're walking around like your front page news. You've been awful careful about the friends you choose, but you won't find my name in your book of who's who. Said, I'm not your stepping stone. Not me, no. I said, I'm not your stepping stone. No, not your stepping stone. No stepping stone. Your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. No. Not your stepping stone. Stepping stone. Baby, baby, stone. I'm not your stepping stone. Oh, baby, I'm not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. No, 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 your stepping stone. No, no, I'm not your stepping stone. Stepping stone. Your stepping stone. Oh, wow. Not your stepping stone. Stepping stone.
That is actually an excellent version of Stepping Stone. That's Paul Revere and the Raiders. And a band actually worthwhile checking out because they also covered quite early on Have Love Will Travel. I think they covered that before the Sonics and did quite a lot of great songs of their own as well. The next track is one I've picked. So, yes, this is dedicated to me. Stiff Little Fingers used to do a lot of cover versions as encores. And I think it's the At the Edge single. On the back, there's a melody called Funny Encores. And one of the songs they used to cover is this. This is Johnny Preston from 1959 and Running Bear.
On the bank of the river stood Running Bear, young Indian brave. On the other side of the river stood his lovely Indian maid. Little white dove was her name, such a lovely sight to see. but their tribes fought with each other, so their love could never be. Running bear, love little white dove, with a love big as the sky. Running bear, love little white dove, with a love that couldn't die. He couldn't swim the raging river, 'cause the river was too wide. He couldn't reach little white dove waiting on the other side. In the moonlight he could see her throwing kisses across the way. Her little heart was beating faster, waiting there for her brave. A running bear, love little white dove, with a love big as the sky. Running bear, love little white dove, with a love that couldn't die. Running bear, dove in the water, little white dove did the same, and they swam out to each other. Through the swirling stream they came. As their hand touched and their lips met, the raging river pulled them down. Now they'll always be together in that happy hunting ground. Running bear, love little white dove, with a love big as the sky. Running bear, love little white dove, with a love that couldn't die.
Johnny Preston and Running Bear from 1959. The next track is one that the Stranglers covered, and this is requested by Peter Bennell Smith, the landlord of the Rifle Volunteers somewhere down in the West Country. And this is the Dionne Warwick original of Walk On By from 1964.
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry each time we meet, walk on by, walk on by. Make believe that you don't see the tears, just let me grieve in private, 'cause each time I see you I break down and cry. Walk on by, stop, walk on by, stop, walk on by. I just can't get over losing you, and so if I seem broken and blue, walk on by.
I don't know how many of you, just like me there at the musical break there, were saying to yourselves, let's go for a walk in the trees. Anyway, next up is a request for Alan Hay, and this is the Castanet Kaz Singing Orchestral Circus, and a song called Quick Joey Small from 1968, and this was covered by both Slaughter and the Dogs and the Cramps.
Quick Joey Small went over the wall with a ball and a chain behind him. Quick Joey Small went over the wall, sent the dogs right out to find him. In a striped prison suit with no loot to boot, he headed for the highway with his chain still dragging. He thumbed down a wagon, said, "Oh man, are you going my way?" And they sing now.
Joey, Joey, run, run, the hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump up.
Joey, Joey, run, run, they're gonna send you back to jail.
Sheriff got a shotgun.
He do,
He filled you full of lead, son.
it's true.
He also got a blackjack.
He's mad.
He bust your head with one whack. Here we go now.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run, the hounds are on your trail.
Sweet Mary Jane was a gone insane when she heard of Joey's jailbreak. But she knew all the while 'cause she sent him a file. Baked inside a fudge cake in the scene now.
Joey, Joey, run, run, the hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump up.
Joey, Joey, run, run, they're gonna send you back to jail.
Oh, Sheriff Jack Beans was a light on brains, but he knew one thing for sure. Took some tufts in a pair of handcuffs and headed straight for Mary Jane's door. And they say now,
Joey, Joey, run, run, the hounds are on your trail.
"Run, run, jump, jump."
Joey, Joey, run, run, they're gonna send you back to jail.
On that Joey.
Joey, Joey, run, run, the hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump up.
And once again, a cracking suggestion from Alan again. The Castanet Kaz Singing Orchestral Circus and Quick Joey Small, in brackets, Run Joey Run. And that was 1968. So it's going back in time a little bit for a song from 1962 that the Cramps covered. And actually, I didn't even know that this was a cover. It's so the Cramps. I had no idea that someone else had done it years and years before. This is the Goo Goo Muck, and this is Ronnie Cook and the Gay Lads.
When the sun goes down and the moon comes up, I turn into a teenage goo-goo muck. I cruise through the city and I roam the streets, looking for something that is nice to eat. You'd better duck when I show up, the goo-goo muck. I'm the night-head hunter looking for a head, with the way-out body underneath that head. I'll get you, baby, with a little luck. I'm a teenage tiger and a cuckoo buck. You better duck when I show up, the goo-goo muck. And thanks.
the jungle and I'm a beast. A teenage tiger looking for a feast. I want the most and still I'll take the least. I'm the Goo Muck tiger and a teenage beast. You better duck when I show up, the Goo Muck. And thanks, baby, like I've been telling you. I'm the Goo. Muck, and thanks.
With added screams at the end there. Ronnie Cook and the Gay Lads, the Goo Goo Muck from 1962. The next song has a special meaning for me, and I'm going to dedicate this to my mate Martin, or Martin from Gene, as he's known officially on the web pages. This is a song that was covered by the Dead Kennedys, a Johnny Paycheck song from 1977. Called Take This Job and Shove It. And me and Martin used to work for R. Price Music many, many years ago. And through one profound thing and another, we both left on the same day. And this was the last track I played as we went walking out the door.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. A woman done left, took all the reason I was working for. I've been working in this factory now 15 years. All this time I've watched my woman drowning in a pool of tears. And I've seen a lot of good folk die, had a lot of bills to pay. I'd give the shirt right off my back if I had the guts to say, take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. The woman done left, took all the reason I was working for. You better not try to stand in my way. I'm walking out the door. Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. Well, that foreman, he's a regular dog. Line boss, he's a fool. He's got a brand new flat top haircut, and all he thinks he's cool. One of these days I'm gonna blow my top, and that sucker, he's gonna pay. Lord, I can't wait to see their faces when I get the nerve to say, take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. Woman done left, took all the reason I was working for. You better not try to stand in my way, 'cause I'm walking out the door. Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. Take this job and shove it.
The marvellous Johnny Paycheck with Take This Job and Shove It. Just to mention as well that those last two songs were actually requested by Lloyd Dickinson in Bovingdon in Hertfordshire. So cheers for those, Lloyd. We're coming to the last track now. So before I play that, just to do the shout-outs and thanks. Thanks very much to a blogger, Mild Mannered Max, who has a blog called mildmanneredarmy.com. And he's been sharing the show. He does a specialist blog, and a very, very good one, on Britpop, ska, soul, indie music, as he calls it, more roll than rock. Also for sharing and caring, Peter Burnell Smith, Ali B, Martin Ross, Lloyd Dickinson, and also on Twitter, at Hellbow, at Miranda Kitten, and at Karam Arms from Hagar the Womb. Thank you all very, very much, and thanks for everyone for listening. And thanks to Ben, my producer. I'm going to leave you with a Ronettes song that was covered quite epically by the Ramones. And this is from 1963 and Baby I Love You. And that's all from me. I'll see you next time.